I was drowning, not in water, but in something far more suffocating. The endless scroll, the notifications that never stopped, the validation I chased every single day like it was oxygen. 2 years ago, I made a decision that everyone thought was insane. I deleted every social media app from my phone. Instagram, gone. Twitter, deleted. TikTok, vanished. And what happened next didn't just change my life, it saved it. If you've ever felt like you're living for everyone else's approval, like your worth is measured in likes and comments, then what I'm about to share with you might just be the wake-up call you've been waiting for. Picture this. It's 3 in the morning, and I'm sitting on my bedroom floor with my phone in my hand, tears streaming down my face. I had just spent 6 hours, 6 entire hours, scrolling through other people's highlight reels, comparing my behind the scenes to their perfectly filtered lives. My eyes burned, my chest ached, and in that moment, I couldn't even remember the last time I'd felt genuinely happy. I had become a ghost in my own life, more concerned with capturing moments than actually living them. My relationships were surface-level conversations interrupted by constant phone checks. My dreams were buried under the weight of what everyone else expected me to be. I had lost myself completely, and I didn't even know who I was anymore without that little blue light guiding my every move. The breaking point came when my best friend looked me in the eyes during lunch and asked me a question I'll never forget. "When was the last time you told me something real?" I opened my mouth to respond, but nothing came out, because she was right. Everything I shared was curated, filtered, edited to perfection. The real me, the struggling, confused, imperfect me, was hidden behind a wall of false smiles and inspirational quotes I didn't even believe. That night, I made a promise to myself. I would disappear from the digital world to find myself in the real one. No announcements, no dramatic goodbye posts. I just deleted everything and stepped into the unknown. The first week was absolute hell. My hand reached for my phone every few minutes like a reflex I couldn't control. I felt phantom vibrations. I wondered what I was missing, who was talking about me, what trends were passing me by. The silence was deafening. But then something shifted. In week 2, I started noticing things I hadn't seen in years. The way morning light painted my room gold. The sound of birds outside my window. The taste of my coffee when I actually paid attention to it. It sounds simple, almost ridiculous. But these tiny moments felt like breathing for the first time after being underwater too long. By month 3, I picked up a book I'd been meaning to read for 2 years. Then another, and another. I finished 12 books that quarter, more than I'd read in the previous 5 years combined. I started journaling, pouring out thoughts I'd been too afraid to share online because they weren't pretty enough, weren't inspirational enough. I wrote about my fears, my failures, my hopes. And for the first time, those words were just for me, not for an audience, not for validation, just raw, honest truth. The real transformation happened in my relationships. Without social media, I couldn't keep up with 100 surface-level friendships. I had to choose. I called people. I showed up at their doors. I had conversations that lasted hours, not minutes between scrolls. And you know what I discovered? I didn't have 100 real friends. I had 5. 5 people who actually cared about the real me, who wanted to hear about my bad days as much as my good ones. Those 5 relationships became deeper, richer, more meaningful than anything I'd ever experienced online. Around month 8, I noticed something profound. My anxiety had decreased dramatically. Those constant feelings of inadequacy, of not being enough, of falling behind, they started to fade. Because I wasn't comparing my chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. I wasn't measuring my worth against filtered highlights. I was just living, failing, learning, growing at my own pace, in my own way. By year 1, I had started that business I'd been talking about for 3 years. I learned to play guitar. I traveled to places I'd only dreamed about. And instead of watching them through a screen trying to get the perfect shot, I experienced them with my own eyes, stored them in my own memory. I fell in love, real, messy, imperfect love, with someone who knew me without any filters. I became the person I'd been pretending to be online, except better, because she was real. Here's what I learned, and I need you to really hear this. First, your worth isn't measured in likes, followers, or comments. It's measured in how deeply you connect with yourself and the people who truly matter. Second, the best moments in life aren't the ones that look good in photos. They're the ones that feel good in your soul. Third, comparison will steal your joy every single time if you let it. Fourth, real growth happens in silence, in solitude, in the uncomfortable space between who you were and who you're becoming. And fifth, you don't need an audience to live a meaningful life. You just need the courage to show up for yourself every single day. So here's my challenge to you. You don't have to delete everything like I did. But what if, just for today, you put your phone down and did one thing that makes you feel alive? Read a chapter. Take a walk without earbuds. Call someone you love. Write down one true thing about how you're really feeling. Start small. Start scared. Just start, because 2 years ago, I was drowning. Today, I'm breathing. And that breath, that beautiful, unfiltered, real breath, is worth more than 1,000,000 likes could ever be